Hello friends, I have another candidate for you for the title of worst vacuum cleaner ever made. And it is this, the second generation Hoover the One. Oh my god. So first of all, a little history. The original first generation Hoover the One went on sale in, I think, approximately 2004. Now that cleaner was very similar to this one we have here. The only difference really was the fact that it was mainly white with red accents. The vast majority of the cleaner was white. There was a few bits, obviously like the Hoover Roundel and the central pedal here. They were red. Now those machines are incredibly hard to find now. They are very rare. And it's really, they are from recent history. 2004 was what, 16 years ago? There are none left. They are incredibly hard to find. I know of two people who have them. They didn't sell particularly well in the first place. They were sort of quite overpriced, I think. I think they were over £200 for the G1 version of this. It's quite a lot of money, to be honest with you, for a truly terrible vacuum cleaner. I think if we had an actual competition for the worst vacuum cleaner of all time, I'm pretty sure the original Hoover one would win. Now, because we don't have that one, we have the... Ow! See, it even hates me. We have the Generation 2 version of it. Very similar cleaner. In fact, I think, to be totally honest with you, it is exactly the same. The only difference is the colour scheme, and that's all that's changed. A little bit of history for you on these cleaners. G2 came out, I think, approximately 2006, and there was a range of them. This is the basic model, so this is the One Touch, which basically shared its name with the original Hoover the One. And then you had different variations on a theme for this cleaner. So you had the One Performer, you had the One Pet, and I think there was a fourth one as well, I think. Although my memory fails me at the moment to remember what that one was. The reason I have this cleaner, and I also have the One Performer and the One Pet, is because when they came out, I say when they came out, it wasn't immediate. They were launched approximately 2006. And then in 2007, all of a sudden the market flooded with them. Not the retail market, but the sort of aftermarket factory seconds kind of market. And they appeared in their droves on eBay. There were loads of them. There were so many sellers selling these cleaners extremely cheaply. I think the retail on this particular model was £179. I've got that in my head for the base model, all the way up to the Pet. Yeah, I think the Pet was the top of the range. That was like 250 quid retail. It was mental. But they all came out really cheap, and I think the base model was £60, £59.99 plus postage, and then Performer and Pet, I think they went up to like £100 the Pet. So if you look at it from an objective point of view, you were getting a real bargain. You were saving a massive amount of money off the retail price. And I think the reason that they appeared in their droves on eBay was because they were so flipping awful that they just couldn't sell them. Curry's probably bought a load of them. Comet probably bought a load of them. They realised how truly awful they were. Customers would have bought them, taken them home, tried to use them, realised that they were just horrific, and broke for like a hobby. These cleaners break for a hobby. They are so... I kind of want to say delicate. They're not delicate. They're just really badly made. They're Chinese rubbish. It's just typical Chinese rubbish. Don't get me started on China. I have a real beef with China, but their products are terrible, frankly. And this is a classic example of just how bad Chinese stuff can be. I suppose technically you can't blame them completely, because they wouldn't have designed this cleaner. I suspect Hoover would have done it and then built it down to this awful price with this terrible plastic. I mean, any vacuum cleaner that creaks is just unforgivable. And that is not a little creak, that is shit's creak. You know, that is ridiculous. It is so bad in so many ways. Another example for you about how awful this is. If you look here on this back panel, hopefully you can see that. Yes, you can, where the cable runs down into the main unit. This panel is here to cover up the pipework. So there's pipework here, and you can see this is the hose that you can take off. And then under this cover, there's the pipes basically meet up. Now this cleaner has left the factory with a bit of sticky tape here. There's a great big piece of sticky tape holding this panel in place. That's not me. That's not its first owner. That is how it left the factory. It's so bad that even a panel needs to be sticky taped on. It's just unforgivable. The fact that it's wearing the Hoover name, it's Hoover, you know. I mean, okay, Hoover are a joke now, but they weren't a joke. Hoover used to make amazing vacuum cleaners, absolutely amazing. And this really is the final shitty nail in Hoover's coffin. It's heartbreaking, really. I think, as you probably well know, I'm a massive Hoover fanboy. I love Hoover. To see them producing this, it is heartbreaking. I had to change the belt on this one because this has been in storage for, oh goodness, probably 13 years. I haven't used it for 13 years, and in fact, on that point, I don't think I've ever used it. Actually, I think I would have bought it. It would have came in. I would have looked at it, gone, oh yeah, okay, and then put it straight into storage. I genuinely don't think I've ever used this. I think this is the first time. This is a first use video, and I can kind of prove that to you as well by showing you inside the Cyclone. But just on the point of having to change the belt, this basic model does not have a separate motor for the brush roll. The higher models do. So I know for a fact that Performer and Pet have a separate motor in the chassis here, and this bar, this PC bar, is actually connected to an on-off switch. So you can electrically control the brush roll on the higher models. On this one, you can't. You still have this bar here, and it still has a display for carpet and hard floor with like a little indicator in it, but it's a physical indicator. There's a piece of plastic that slides back and forth here. When you actuate the bar, it moves a physical piece of plastic underneath the hood that changes to red from carpet or hard floor. Now, as I say, the higher models have a motor. This is much simpler. It's just basically pressing a switch to turn it on and off. The basic model does not have that. The brush roll is driven from the motor, and there's a great big long belt that runs down here. So when I pulled this out of the garage, thinking that I would do a video on it for you, I tested the brush roll and it was really slack. So I thought, oh, okay, I need to clean it because it was filthy, and I just need to put a belt on. I just need to put a belt on. You know, how hard is it to fit a belt? Well, on this particular cleaner, it is a nightmare. I'm going to cut to some footage that I filmed up in the workshop when I was doing it. So you go and watch that and then come back. I just had to show you this. This is my attempt at changing the belt on this Hoover one prior to actually filming the video, just to get it ready. So you can see, oh, there's a spider there, look. I think that's a very dead spider. So I just wanted to show you inside really, and just to show you how ridiculous this mechanism is. So you've got all this. Here's the pedal that kind of just pushes down, and you need to get this back into place. You need to get it back into place so it's right. And to be honest with you, I can't even see how this went. You just take the top off, everything just flies around, and it's ridiculous. And look, there's a mechanism on the hood as well. It's just unbelievable. If I show you it from this way, look, you've got this great big pedal here, huge spring that's under massive tension, and all of this mechanism, all of these bars and everything that sort of go around here, and you've got something that flips there. Look, there's that flips around. This is on top of that. That's held on by a flipping spring, would you believe? Look at that. How terrible is that? And that's how it was made. I mean, I need to try and get this back together and working. I don't know how to do it, frankly. I wish I'd never taken the damn thing apart to put a new belt on. I think maybe this goes up inside there, look. But look, it just kind of flops around and then it comes off. Oh my god, this is terrible. But anyway, I'm going to try and do this, and then I need to try and put a new belt on it as well. I mean, you can see how clean it is in here. I think this has probably been used once. Yeah, amazing. But anyway, I'm going to crack on with this, and then I can actually film the flipping video. I didn't think it was going to be this bad, but yeah, it is. So wish me luck. So as you can see, it's not even easy to change the belt on it. This mechanism is ridiculous. It is overcomplicated to the point of madness. And all it does, for all that faff, all that does, it doesn't turn the brush roll off. The brush roll is permanently on. It is always on. All this pedal does is push down a set of brushes. You see the brushes there? Those? That's it. So that's hard floor mode. Those brushes. Let's take it out of hard floor mode. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay. That's what you get in hard floor mode. Oh my god. Okay. It's unbelievable, really. Why even bother? You will have noticed that on the third generation one of these, there's 3 generations of these. It's just mind-boggling. It genuinely is mind-boggling. There's 3 generations. The last generation is the Hoover Zoom, and that does away with all of this nonsense. It is a massively cost-reduced version of this vacuum cleaner. All of this madness is gone. It doesn't have a separate motor in the hood. It's just a single belt that comes down to drive the brush roll, and that's the one that I used to clean up the fireplace. That was the one that made me think about doing it with the Bosch. It actually did quite well, surprisingly so. In fact, there are a couple of positives to this cleaner, and they don't outweigh the negatives by any stretch. Absolutely do not. Oh, there's one other thing. Before I go onto the positives, on all of these cleaners, they have a Hepa filter here. This is a Hepa filter cassette, basically, in this. And let me just take the Cyclone off, like so. Actually, before I go on to the positives, I'm just going to talk through a few things on this. So there's a Hepa exhaust filter here, and you press this button to release it, and it pops out. And that's quite cool. Okay, quite good. There's some proof that this machine has had hardly any use. You see, there's very little carbon dust on that filter at all. Hardly anything. So yeah, very little use. The plastic is so bad on these. It's so cheap and nasty. Look, it flexes, and that's part of the problem. That because you've only got a single Cyclone here, you have a pleated Hepa filter here, you have a sponge filter inside that filter, and then you have another Hepa filter for the exhaust. Twin Hepa, that's pretty good. Okay, you say, oh, it's pretty good for your cash. Twin Hepa, nice. The trouble is, because it's an 1800 watt motor, it's burning through current, burning through, and it gets so hot. So hot. So if you don't empty it, you don't service it, you don't clean the filters, you could be merrily vacuuming away, creaking all over your lounge, and all of a sudden your HEPA filter pops out. You're like, oh, okay. And in some cases, because the plastic expands, you can get a situation where the HEPA filter pops out, flies across the room, which is hilarious. I cannot think of any other vacuum cleaner where you have a flying HEPA filter. That is just awesome. But you see, that's why it sums it up with just how bad this cleaner is. I just need to show you the Cyclone actually, just to show you that this has had hardly any use at all. Oh, you empty it like this. This is bizarre as well. You have this huge handle with like multiple positions to it, and it says press. I don't know how you do it. Do you do it like that? Open, press, open, close. Look, it says press, open, close. All right, how do I do this? Do I press down? Do I pull up? Does that get... Oh, there we go. Oh, you push it down like that, and then it swings open. There we go. So that's how you do that. I mean, that is stupidly complex in and of itself. There's a little bit of dirt in there. It's not much. And then you kind of flip it down and then pull it back up. For God's sake. It's just over complex. It's so stupid. So all of this one-touch stuff is basically them saying, oh, you only have to touch it once to do something. Okay, so it's one-touch Cyclone release. You press down on the trigger, you can take the Cyclone off. And then you have easy access filter, one touch. So you do one touch, like so. You rotate and you pull. That comes off. Now, the filter should come with it, but it's a Hoover one. Of course it doesn't. And the filter comes out like so. Now, I just want to show you. I haven't cleaned this. Just take a look inside there. Hardly any use whatsoever. In fact, even the inside of the filter is still white. So I think this really is like a first use video. And then you can take out the central cone like so. So there's your central cone. Single stage Cyclone system. Dirt whirling round, getting caught on this mesh, very much like the Bosch. However, there's a massive area on this. The Bosch has a tiny, teeny little cone in there. At least this has a huge area to keep the air flowing through. Now this should actually be like this. This should be sort of locked onto the top like so. That's how it should be, but I guess the plastic's getting old, so it isn't anymore. And then you pop this back in there, like so, and then you rotate, twist and rotate, and it locks in place. And then you have a handle you can carry the machine with. Now, stupidly, this handle is obviously on the top, you can see it there. And people would think that that was the carrying handle for the cleaner. This machine is quite heavy, and the other ones are even heavier. I think the Performer or the Pet has a massive hose on it. It's got the extra motor in the base to drive the brush roll. They're really heavy cleaners, and these handles are not up to the job of taking the weight of the machine. And you would often see them, well, if you ever did see them, they are quite rare, with these handles broken, because owners have thought, oh, that's brilliant, I can pick my Hoover up with that, try to pick it up, snap, smash, broken handle, brilliant. So let me just bring this back up. This creaky bastard. There we go. Let's pop this Cyclone back on. I will say it's quite easy to sort of take the Cyclone off and empty it. Once you work out that funny clip at the back, it's quite easy. It is quite good. So the one other thing that is good about this cleaner is how the hose works. I say it's good. It is good. It's not good. It's kind of. You actually, it's quite difficult to show you because it's so tall. You have at the top here, you have another one-touch release. So you click that like so, and that releases the handle, and the handle comes out with the hose on it. So you have a built-in crevice tool, like so. Oh, I haven't put the tools on it. I've got small tools for it. I'll go and grab those in a sec. So you always have your hose at hand, and it's really easy to get it. So you can just whip it out, and you've got a decent stretchy hose. So this is the basic model. So it's not super stretchy. As I say, I think it's Performer has like a loop of extra hose on it. It's quite thick hose as well. It's quite good. It's quite surprising. The only problem is that when you push this handle back in, there's a mechanism down here. It's approximately at this point here, which has got like it's kind of like a push valve. So when you push that down, it moves a valve inside here, and it basically rotates. So when you take the handle out, it rotates 90 degrees anti-clockwise to direct the suction to the hose, and then when you push it back in, push the handle back in, it rotates the valve. It's a valve, that's it. 90 degrees clockwise, so it points to the lower hose, so that you can clean your floors. Now that, in and of itself, is fine. However, they tend to get stuffed up with dust, and they stop working. Also, I found, certainly on some of these cleaners, the owners will try and really jam that handle in. They'll try and get it in. There could be a blockage on the point of where the valve is trying to turn. And it's just a plastic rod. It's a thin plastic rod that runs down through this rear handle. That pressure is enough to break the rod. And it'll either break the rod or it'll break the valve, because it's just cheap plastic. It's not good. It really, really is not good. The final positive to this cleaner is that it's actually quite nice to use. You're probably thinking to yourself, what are you talking about? How can it be nice to use? But it is, because it's actually quite nicely weighted. When you're vacuuming your carpet, all of the weight is here. It's all down here. It's all next to the wheels. There's very little weight on the handle itself, and it's nice and tall. And being a tall guy, using it with this tall handle is actually really nice. I wouldn't say it's particularly great to use if you're doing above the floor cleaning. It's quite bulky. It doesn't fall over, which is good, unlike that awful Panasonic. Oh god. It's very sturdy because, you know, it's quite weighty. And it's quite nicely balanced when it's upright as well. But yeah, that's about it. That's the overview of the Hoover One Touch. Now, I would say to you guys, if you ever see these, grab them. Definitely grab them. I am really pleased to have my 3. I'd love to have the original Hoover, the one from 2004. I doubt very much whether I'll ever find one of those now. They are pretty much long gone, even after such a short period of time. But this cleaner will be a future classic. It is awful, don't get me wrong, it is awful, but it will be rare. This and its brothers will be rare. You could argue that they are rare now, after only 13 years. But I guarantee you, you find one of these, you keep it nice, you keep it looking good, it will probably be worth some money. Not for quite some time yet, but it probably will be. And if you can find well, there's 5 of them, I think. Original, certainly 3 Generation 2 and 1 Generation 3. There may have been 2 Generation 3 machines, I'm not entirely sure. But there were a few. But yeah, if you can find them, you probably won't find them, but if you can, grab them and keep them. So anyway, that's enough waffling from me. Let's take this beastly cleaner into the lounge and give it a go. I'm not going to clean the fireplace with this one, it's too nice, but yeah, anyway. So thanks for watching. As ever, always appreciate it. Don't forget to do the usual commenting, subscribing and liking. I appreciate it massively, I really do. And yeah, thanks for visiting, thanks for hanging around, thanks for all your support. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.